Welcome to Lesson 3 in this series of No Stress, No Pressure, No Free Motion Quilting. Let me introduce you to Joey, my offsider. How are you, Joey?
I am very well, thank you, Pauline.
That's good. Some of you may have met Joey through our Toots on Tuesday, but I've decided to bring Joey in on this lesson because she hasn't done a lot of quilting, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Quilted a couple of blocks, but never quilted a design like we have here. So I'm going to let you take over from where I finished off in Lesson 2. So what I want you to do, Joey, and this is just a little example of what I'd be liking you to do, you know, all those people who are joining in this class, is continue to stitch on the line. No matter what design you're drawn on, as you've noticed, Joey, it looks a bit strange because I'm just been stitching on a line. But the idea of quilting like this is to fill in the pattern. Mm-hmm. So you find the most direct line you can sew without having to stop and restart again.
So I'm looking for a line that doesn't have too much tight corners.
Exactly, exactly. As I've said to everybody in the previous lesson, you quilt the wave. Mm-hmm. You find the wave and stay on the wave.
Okay, so
and you are going to get to tight corners. Like where we're out here, you've got some tight corners here, but we'll explain that as we get to it so that everybody can understand how we're going to sew around that. So just to go over things, we have our stitch length on this machine at 2.85.
We do.
We've released the pressure off the sewing foot. Now, do you know why we've done that?
I think so that we can move the fabric a lot easier.
Exactly, exactly. If we left full pressure on the foot, when you got to this centre stage where you are here now, you would have to stop and lift the pressure foot to pivot the fabric, put the pressure back down and then sew again. So by releasing the pressure, it's going to allow you to manoeuvre the fabric a lot easier under the needle. And that's what this part of this lesson is about, the no pressure part. And hopefully no stress on you.
Let's hope.
All right, so now I just want you to start sewing. Where would you be thinking you're going to stitch here now?
Well, I think that I need to, let me get I don't have it all, that's okay. I think I would just follow this nice curve down here.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure where I might go here, but let's
get to there, but stop a little bit before you get to there. Okay. Now, how you've got your hands there now would be the normal way you would sew, I would imagine. Well, when I quilt, I don't do that because I find that's going to restrict the movement of the fabric, of the feed dogs moving the fabric through for you. So let's hold it here and let's see how you go.
Okay.
Drive from the front. Remember, there's no pressure.
No pressure.
And just sew at a speed. And you do have your left foot on the pedal, do you, Joey?
I do. I've learnt that from you, Pauline.
And it really helps you control the speed of the needle, I would think, does it?
It does.
Okay, you're getting down to there to where we need to stop. So now if we stop.
Now?
So now what we're going to do is come around and pivot. So just come right down and you need to make this stitch finish right on that previous stitching line.
Oh!
Right. Pretty good. Now, just see if you can pivot this around and see how easy that is to pivot that.
That is very easy.
You didn't have to lift the pressure foot. If we had full pressure down on that foot, we certainly would have had to lift the pressure foot.
So now I think I might come in on this line, do you think? Or
I think come this line.
That way?
That way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, get my hands in the right position.
Yes. That's it. Very good. And like as Joey does and as you will yourself, you will find that you'll be able to speed up as you gain your confidence with this. And it all is about you feeling relaxed and you feeling nice and confident. Now, can we just stop here for a minute because there's a little problem starting to appear here. And this is where I was quilting before. So see where my line is here?
Yes.
See how I stitched over that line?
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yes.
So what I'm going to need you to do is come down and readjust so you come back onto that line. So we're just reshaping this a little bit. And this is where it's good to have your marking pencil alongside you. Now, with us remarking this, we're not really going to change the shape of that too much, but we need to stitch right back onto that stitch. So go nice and slow. Now you need to pivot now, and then aim for that peak. Yep.
There. Ooh.
Right, you'd got it. Yay! Now we come around there.
Going to come around here.
Yep. And these are the sort of things that can happen, and you'll learn as you gain your confidence and your experience that how you can adjust things. Because remember, using the right fabric marking pen, you can go back and erase that line or leave it till you wash the project for the first time. The lines will wash out. That's very good. Excellent.
Look at these lovely curves here that are so easy to follow.
So you're finding that really easy?
Yes.
Yeah, right, you're right back on that point.
So then around, I think I would go around here.
Around there, or you can continue across here. It doesn't matter. You just work out. It's like a maze. You don't want to get yourself jammed in somewhere that you but if you do, there's no reason why you can't stop and cut your threads and start again. And I did explain to everybody in the last lesson how to start stitching by drawing your bobbin thread up and doing a couple of small stitches. Now, this is getting really, stop now, because we're getting really close to where we've got a lot of intersecting points coming. So you need to stitch right back on that point.
To be very accurate.
Very accurate. Go slow. Oh, perfect.
Lovely. So would I just come around that way?
Yes, you will. And it's worth stopping every now and again and seeing the road that you're going to follow. Very good.
I can't believe how easy this is, really.
Well, it's a combination of having the slippery mat on the bed of the machine and releasing the pressure off the foot.
I'm back here where we had that funny little...
Yes, well, you'll go right back onto that point again. Perfect. Now you could swing it right around and come back this other way. So now it's tight there. I can see you pulling the fabric. Do one stitch. Right, now pivot. And see how that easy that was just by taking that one extra stitch. Otherwise it was a bit tight around that corner. Yeah, there, look at it go.
Fast and slow. A little bit fast, a little bit slow.
And you just have to find your speed. You have to find what is right for you. That's excellent. So while you're stitching there, I'm just going to go over here and finish filling in this clamshell.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to just play around here a bit till I get this design how I want it. So you let me know if there's any problems that you come across. Because I'm not keeping my eye on you.
Unsupervised. Joey unsupervised.
Well, it's just proving that anybody can quilt. I know you can sew. I know you're a very good sewer. So when you can sew, you can quilt.
That's exactly it, isn't it?
It is.
You sew a straight line, you can quilt.
That's exactly it. That's very good.
I saw you were watching me just then.
Now, you come to a tricky part there. You come to the outside edge. So this is where I would suggest you'll lift the pressure foot, okay, off the fabric. Turn around. Now, what I want you to do is come back in here and let's do this tight curve, okay? Now that's your foot has caught up underneath there, so you
gotta
just
lift
need
that
to
up.
lift that up. And they're all the little things that always happen. But don't sew too fast, just sew at your speed that you can control. Is that still catching up there? Okay. I think it was just caught under the mat. Yep. Now just stop for a moment and just roll this up further so that it's more condensed, and that'll make it easier for you to get round that curve.
Even this part here.
Yep. And like if you're wonky to start with, remember this is a practice piece and it'll take you a little time to get your eye in at it. And the more you gain confidence, the easier it becomes. That's it.
I think I did all right
Now
there.
stop there. One more stitch. Right. Now come back out on that line you went in on. And you only come out to this line. So you can see your line there.
Yep.
Right, now you're going to pivot.
Which way would you suggest?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So you might need to do, as you start to pivot around, just pull this, do one stitch. Right, now see how easy that made it. That one stitch when you're ready to pivot makes the hugest difference to allow that just to pull around.
Look.
So yeah, it's just the edge is getting caught under the
Right
foot,
under
which
the
is,
edge.
that's it, now you're right.
Pivot a bit more. Actually, I might lift that foot again.
That's it. Now when you get up to this intersection here, you'll need to stop and decide where you're going to go next. Because I would think you might be tempted to come up here, but if I think about doing that, you're going to end up with this section not quilted. So I would say pivot here and come back around.
Would you go one more stitch there?
No, you're just about on it. I would pivot there. Now remember, that one little stitch, right, then around. That's it. That's great. So you need to come back to where you pivoted here before. And then stop right on that point and then go out to that little bit. Right, now you're going to come back around.
Now, being right on the edge, I'm going to
You're
lift
going to
that
lift the foot, that's right.
because it's very...
So now, if we just look at this closely, you've now got that continual line to keep going on, okay? So and that's how you work your way out of the little maze. Just go slowly and stop whenever you need to. The edges are always a problem, and you know your foot will get caught under it, but there's no problem stopping and lifting that pressure foot. That's very good.
I never thought I'd be able to do this steering from the front thing, but...
Well, I believe, you know, and if I got you to put your hands back up there where most people would think they'd have their hands, it makes it extremely difficult to control. Now, this is where you're going to stop and you're going to stitch back over that line. Now, if we didn't have the open toe foot on, if we had a regular foot, you wouldn't be able to see that line.
That's right.
So that's why I recommend that foot. Oh, excellent stitching. Now stop, pivot. That's it. Excellent. So there you go. And see how you're now starting to fill in the whole design?
It's a little bit like colouring in for grown-ups, isn't it?
Exactly, exactly. And you're really getting those pivots right now. So stitch back over that little line. You've got a little few stitches there to do back over the top of itself. And then continue on your way. That is excellent. And, you know, I'd suggest to anybody that's practicing this way, and I do encourage you to practice, and that's what this class is all about, and this series is all about getting you to practice, because practicing on 4 or 5 pieces like this and doing different designs will certainly help you build your confidence, as I think your confidence is starting to, because I can see you relaxing down a lot now. But it will help build confidence, and confidence builds encouragement. Encouragement builds the passion to want to try more and more quilting. And like when I started quilting like this, I just couldn't stop. As you can see all the samples behind us, I just kept wanting to do more and more and more. And quilting on small pieces like this makes it so achievable for anybody to quilt. So I don't see why anybody who has tried free motion quilting and can't get it should stop quilting. I encourage anybody to try this.
So I've come to an intersection there.
Yep, so you follow the line, follow your drawn line, that's it. Now make sure you come back down to where you started. So see, you just need to come to this pivot point.
Here?
Yes.
Seems...
Okay, now you'll have to lift your foot now because you're in a really tight situation. Now you're back into this centre curve.
Another tight little centre one.
Another tight little centre. So there are times when you do have to lift the pressure foot. If you can't release the pressure on the foot on your sewing machine, you'll have to lift the pressure foot a little bit more often than what Joey is, but there's nothing wrong with that. It just will take a few more seconds longer for you to quilt that design than on a machine where you can adjust the pressure off the foot. Now go slow around those corners, don't move your fabric too fast, that's it. That is excellent. Good driving.
It is driving, isn't it?
It is. Now you'll stitch back on the line. Just go right till you get down to your pivot point. That's it.
Pivot around here?
Yes. So remember that one little stitch.
Just helps you to start pivoting.
That's right. That's it. And like once you learn, and you know, like Joey, you may need to adjust the pressure off the foot a little bit more because maybe your hands are not handling it as comfortably as what mine do at that point. You've got to find out on your machine what is the best amount of pressure to have on the fabric.
And that's just experimentation, isn't it? So
exactly right. And it's an individual thing. Like a lot of people wear gloves and all sorts of things when they quilt, but I find I don't need anything like that. We've got no safety pins, we've got no walking foot, we've got no quilting gloves. We don't have to worry about the stitch length because our machine is making every stitch perfect for us because it's set at that 2.85. But if we were free motioning now, you'd be really having to worry about making the stitch yourself and staying on the line.
That's right, yes. I've never done free motion, so I really can't say that I've got anything to compare it with. But
yeah, but I think the people that have tried free motioning will understand what I'm meaning by this. Like when I talk to people about using an open toe foot, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you mean an open toe free motion foot?" No, it is an open toe regular sewing foot, and feed dogs are up. So we're doing normal sewing. We're not quilting. We're just sewing on a line, which makes it achievable for anybody to quilt. So there you go. So our next lesson, I'm going to be showing you how I draw feathers onto my fabric, and I'm going to quilt some feathers for you to really encourage people to enable you to sit at your machine and be able to stitch beautiful, beautiful feathers out. So thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Pauline.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Yeah, well, you just keep stitching away there. And, you know, I do see a few of your lines are a little bit wonky, but for your first effort, that is excellent.
And it looks quite lovely, doesn't it?
Well, it does. And once all the lines are
done.
disappeared, you won't see that some of the lines are wonky. And it's just learning to control that fabric and hold it right to get around all of those curves. So Thank you for joining in lesson 3 in this series. Join us for lesson 4, where we're going to cover feathers. I'm going to show you how easy feathers are to quilt. So Joey and I'll say bye for now.
Bye.